Good evening, everybody. Yes, welcome to our weekly sit down and chat about all things Torah, which is pretty much everything. James the Idol Smasher at gmail.com. Hey, let's get this thing back up here. How you doing? Nice to see you. Hi, welcome back. Glad to have you here. Rosalie is joining us as well. She's going to get situated when she gets in here. How you doing, Rosalie?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Better for hearing you. Good. Glad you could make it.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, they can hear me.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Amazing.
Okay.
Marvel of modern tech. How you been?
Good.
Good. Good.
Just
Hmm.
yeah,
You cut out there for a
a
second.
lot of shit happening. Sorry.
Um, yeah, I might cut out tonight as well. Just I want to promote you to moderator just in case. We have some storms coming in. I've got a weather radio alert, so I might get an
Gotcha.
alert for the show just in case. But yeah, every week we'd like you to join. In fact, now that we're on it, let's just get the link over in the chat if you're watching live. We'll give you a link to join in. This is so you and everybody can join in. If you're watching on the Orphans of Abraham group on Facebook, there's a link down below in the comments section. Feel free to hit that and come on in and discuss all things Torah. A lot going on
I
this.
got the Parshat in private chat.
Oh yeah, let's get that in there as well. That's in the description, but just in case. But then we'll go over to all and bada boom, we'll get you that link as well.
No scrolling.
What's that?
You're not scrolling on the bottom.
Yeah, I am.
Mm-mm. I don't see it.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay. Well, I don't have. Oh, there it is. Yep. You're right.
We're on it today.
All right.
No, it's good to be here. It's good to be back. Let's just get into the first topic here. By the way, buymeacoffee.com /the Idol Smasher. We'd like to kind of maybe get some better equipment, maybe even get a green screen or something. I'm doing this out of the Radio Shack, and that's about all I got right now. But we'd like to make some improvements. So if you would like to see the channel grow, we'll be here anyway. But we could always use your help because anything you donate will go directly to this channel and this show in particular. Buymeacoffee.com. Is that not the coolest thing? Buy me a coffee. Buymeacoffee.com /the Idol Smasher. Jews and Christians in the Holy Land. So I know that Mr. E, the E man, and I'm not talking Elvis, baby. The big E story. I'm not going to talk about him today. We're not going to talk about him. I heard Dershowitz say we're not going to talk about E today. I don't want to talk about E today as well. So in other news, some would say more important, some would say not so important. Is there's been a lot of folks kind of coming out, Christian folks coming out and saying they're being treated poorly in the land of Israel. That you've got, they might as well be getting spit on. They're treated so badly. And yeah, and so Ishai Fleischer talked about it a bit. What's going on? He had a couple of Christian guests on. And at the same time, I saw Tovia Singer's recent lecture. It's up. It's about an hour long. And he talks about this sort of thing as well going on in the Holy Land. But of course, with him, you're going to get a Torah sermon the first 30 minutes. So it's beautiful anyway, no matter what. It's worth your watch. But Christians were in the Holy Land before the Brits ever came. Christians have been there for a long, long time. Christians, Muslims, and Jews have always had a presence there since their religion came about. But it's a holy site to all. It's only natural that Christians want to go there. Some of the biggest friends to Israel are evangelical Christians. That's just the way it is. This is new. This is very new. And more just independent Christian people who read the Bible, look out their window, or I guess maybe turn on your television or get on the internet, read the news, and they can't help but to see the prophecies coming true right now that they hadn't ever before, because it concerned Israel. It didn't concern heaven and hell. Didn't concern JC. Just what the Bible says. And a lot of Christians feel very attached. Some would like to say they're grafted in. No, you're not grafted in, but it's nice to have you on board and in support. I'll tell you that much, and to be God-fearers anyway. Um, um, but if there's one thing, I'm not Jewish, and I'll say this right now: I've never been to the Holy Land.
Me neither.
Yeah, we are Americans. You've probably traveled more than I have, Rosalie, but we've never been there. But we kind of have our ear to the ground out. We're kind of tuned in to what goes on out there, and with the Jewish people in general.
We have our friends in common and other friends.
Mm-hmm. And so the news stories that were given by folks who were there in the land, living there in the land,
and they are reliable sources as well.
Yes. I can tell you this: if for those who are concerned and some are up in arms, they're trying to drag Huckabee down with this, but Christian persecution in the Holy Land can end if you do one thing, and this isn't all Christians. It's stop trying to convert the Jews.
Correct.
It's insulting when you do it here in the U.S. of A. It's considered spiritual pogrom. It's like
it's a major sin.
Bad, and it's also illegal, and they don't arrest people for it because the moment they do, it's going to hit the news, and you know how people can be riled up. Just read the Torah. We've had a few of those in this year's reading of Bamidbar of Numbers. But don't convert the Jews. Stop trying. It's illegal, for one. It's bad manners for another. And two, they haven't stuck around not being Christian for 2,000 years for a good reason. You're supposed to be Christian. They're not. Okay?
Uh-huh.
So, my advice, that's really what pisses them off. Christians and Jews live very well now. After the second seat of Rome was unseated, the Christian people and the Jewish people have actually gotten along fairly well in the world, especially here in the States and the West, and no bigger supporters of Israel than, and by numbers, than the evangelical Christians. So, I understand why you go there, and it's probably a good thing that you do. Many Christians come back heavily inspired. They feel closer to God. I get all this. Just tell your friends, tell your church, if they're thinking about this, don't go over there and try to convert a Jew. You have no right, and it's all it's doing is making them pissed off at all Christians. And Christians are their friends there, But that's what's pissing them off. I can just tell you right now. It has nothing to do with the fact that you worship Jesus Christ, or he's in your religion. He's there with you. That's not what bugs them. I mean, the religion, we can talk about that. We can debate that all day. But if you want to have the Christians stop being treated badly in Israel, I'll tell you what they're doing. You're either siding with jihad, or you're trying to convert them, and you don't belong there if you're going to do either. Okay.
Correct.
Well, this is news, and I thought I'd bring it up. Like I say, I've never been there, but we know stuff. Rosalie and I went to the dark side. They have cookies. I'm kidding. Anything on your mind this week, Rosalie?
Meme of the week.
Okay, we'll do that. I want to bring up one more thing. We'll bring that up after meme of the week. Let's get some in. Babylon Bee has some really good.
Yes.
They really are a meme factory. Yeah, they can write a couple funny, witty paragraphs to make it a news story on a satire page. But man, they're really meme artists. This one right here was just fantastic.
I didn't see that one. That's good.
Bless his heart, Ozzy Osbourne, John Osbourne. Not many rockers could make me could bring tears to my eyes, but that crazy dude could. He did. And who else? We got Ozzy. We had Chuck Mangione today. We had
I know.
um,
Connie Francis.
Connie Francis. Yes, Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
Um,
The guy that played Theo on the Cosby Show.
Martin. Jamal.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Michael
Same.
Jamal Warner.
Right.
Took me a second. Um,
Ozzy.
Yeah, and of course Ozzy, but hey, some are happy. Hey, look out for the COVID; it's coming back. I'm kidding. I couldn't help it. Okay, another one from just came out today from the Babylon Bee. I mean, he wants to wrestle with God. Good for him. Okay, I don't know if anybody here's a Talking Head fan. This is not my beautiful wife. It's part of the song. Okay, I don't know if you know that. It's from anyway. Okay. Okay, I guess you have to be plugged in to get that one. Here's this one right here. Just gonna put that up there because I like it. Uh, this one, okay, so this one's going around. This is a big shirt that apparently all the WNBA players, the people nobody cares about. Um, and good on
Right.
them. They're doing what they like to do, but they're angry that they're not getting NBA pay, even though the WNBA doesn't even make a quarter, I don't think, of what NBA does. So this was just to put the into context. Here's the other one. If it were a true T-shirt, you didn't see that, did you?
Mm-mm.
Oh, did I put the wrong one up first?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, it's supposed to say the NBA owes me money.
or no, it's pay me what you owe me. Oh
Oh.
gosh, darn it! I put the the shirt's supposed. See, now I'm gonna have to bring this up. Hang on a second. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get you the real. Let me get you the. There it is. Okay. All right. This is what I can't believe I didn't double check that. I'm a terrible host. Okay, this is the shirt they were actually wearing, and it's not full screen. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Let's try this again. Google Studio or Rumble Studio. Here we go. This was the shirt they were wearing. Pay us what you owe
Right.
us. Boo hoo. This is the shirt that this is the meme. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. Now it's funny after being drug out for so long. This is me pretty much every day. Uh, Problem with that. And finally, other meme of the week. It's good to have honest people when you go dating and you're looking for someone to marry. You need to point out their. So it's good. It's really good that you. So I think this is going to be my meme of the week. It was going to be the T-shirt one, no, heck with that. I'm going biblical. Here we go. Hulk Hogan takes on Jacob. Okay.
He knows better than to take on Esau.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, I want to show you something. This is one of my favorite things, okay? This is show and tell time here at the Nexus. It's a biblical chat. I promise you I have a point to this. This is one of my favorite things right here. I've got games. You see, I got a game over here I like to play. Car Wars, I like chess, but I play Mech Warrior online and have a lot of fun with that. But this is one of the most fun nights I've had since I was a kid. My granddad liked to play poker when the family would come over. We'd all get out the cards out. And this right here, so one of my favorite things, right? Not gambling per se. No, I'm not a big fan of casino. Um, and casinos, lotteries are considered theft. But I started looking up on what they say about poker. But it wound up being about gambling. Um, so I want to touch on gambling for a minute here. And it's not. I'm not sure if it's halacha or not because there's no biblical prohibition. And in fact, I'm not so sure it's ever been brought up in Torah. Gambling isn't. They want to make a moral case against it, but it's just for gambling. It's like it's placing a bet as an evil thing. Um, and so I began to look it up, and one of the reasons why it's just flat out. First off, gambling is theft. This is not halacha. I'm not posking, but I'm just telling you what was. Read a few different articles, looked up some stuff on Chabad, and it's theft. We talked about the lottery. You and I talked about the The lottery being theft, excuse me, because there's a chance that you might win when the chances you might win that money are so astronomical they wouldn't calculate. Does the fish have scales? I don't know. Let me get out my microscope and zoom in with us. There's scales. I see that, but if it's not to the naked eye, it doesn't have scales. Well, this is such a yawning chasm between probability of winning and just giving your money away. It's a sucker's bet, is what we call it, a sucker's bet. Every time. What's the other casinos? That's obvious. And I started looking through all the games at casinos, from baccarat to pai gow to roulette to blackjack, and up or down, however you might be, the house always wins. Doesn't mean you didn't have fun, but the house always wins. You have fun, but it's a sucker's bet.
That's
So
why I
there's
play Keno.
Keno. Now I don't know much about Keno. I've never played Keno.
I play Keno. We have it at the local bars. I mean, the money's spent in Michigan are going towards schools and roads and certain things like that. That I do know. Now, for me, it's like, do I want to go to casino and spend $20 and lose it in the first 3 minutes I'm there, or do I want to stretch it out and make it painful? I'd rather stretch it out and make it painful because I'm at my local bar. If I want to have a beer, I'm supporting my local business. Okay, and
Okay.
it goes on for like a minute or so. And it's like 5 minutes in between games. So if I play $20, that's 4 games. It's gonna take me 20 minutes to lose $20,
Okay.
basically. So it's like, okay, like I said, it stretches it out, makes it painful.
Right.
And sometimes, if I win $1 or $2 back, yeah, I'll put it back. And I always, you've got 1 through 80, and you can play any amount of up to 10 numbers. I usually play five. Reason being is that because if you match five numbers, you are entitled to 400 and some odd dollars if you hit all five numbers. And that way you don't have to pay taxes on it either. And they can pay you out in the bar. You don't
Oh,
have to
wow.
claim taxes on it. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I like playing Keno five numbers. Now you play 10. I mean, play 10 numbers. You can win up to $500,000 and and you can win big money, but that takes more.
Hmm.
So it's like if you don't hit any of the 10 numbers, you get automatically $5 back. But the odds of that are no. You're going to hit at least one. So I
Okay.
like my odds of the five. I like my odds of the five numbers, and I do have some sets of numbers that I play when I do. But like I said,
Hmm.
I'm there. I'm contributing to a local business,
It's
and
entertainment for you at that point.
yeah,
You're not. They say that was one of the things you don't want somebody who lives by the dice or somebody whose face is in the dice. How did they word that?
you know,
Um, Someone who's guided by, lives by.
uh-uh.
Yeah. I was wondering about now as far as the casino games go, there's still an argument, but if it's for a good cause. I used to work for
Right.
a dealer, um, Vegas Image, I think was the name. Yeah, years
Keno
ago.
used to have Vegas nights at private clubs.
Yeah. Well, we do private clubs. We did a lot of fundraisers where, it's
Exactly.
a police chief's ex. He's in the hospital and they're raising money, and
Uh-huh.
they make it all fancy and everybody pays for chips, but all the money collected goes to help his medical bills, and they give away a stereo or they give away something big at the end of the night to whoever has the most chips.
Oh, cool.
Even that they say there's still something to it. And the other reason why they say it's theft is because it's making you give away money you otherwise wouldn't have given. And I just want to emphasize the gentleman's bet. You agree ahead of time. I'm willing to give up $5 to see if you can throw a football through that hoop. I'm willing to give it up. It makes it fun. People wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. In Kansas, I can't bet a cent on a football. But my casino down the road, the Indians can sucker the money out of all the people they want to. I can't
Uh-huh.
place a bet. You know, they can have their MGM on their phones. They can gamble on their stupid phones like it's Vegas style. But I can't. If I have a penny ante poker game, I could go to jail. So what I learned is that it's what they don't want you to do, and what it all comes down to is don't do it, because it's so easy to get robbed. People cheat at poker. You can cheat at roulette. You can cheat at all of them. There's ways to do it. It leaves you wide open for theft. Not you are not a thief by playing poker, but if you're doing, and
Right.
if you're gambling, yeah, so you could get your money taken. Don't be a sucker. Torah doesn't want you to be a sucker.
Right.
Don't be okay. I had to get that off my chest. I want to talk about that last week because spent a lot of time on it. It's like I love playing poker. I love a penny ante poker game with 4 or 5 buddies, and it's fun. And nobody goes home broke. It's a house rule. Um, you're not. It's $2. Are you kidding me? You're going to put me in jail for $2? So I can't post it on Facebook, but whenever I can get a game together, family reunions are a good time. It's a lot of fun. I don't necessarily think it's theft, but still, there you go. Okay. What next? We got a lot of Parsha. Double your Parsha, double your fun. Matot-Massei. Not everybody likes that, but us Ger Toshavim, we like that Torah stuff. That's some good stuff. All right, this is the end of Bamidbar. This is the final portion. We finish out the book. All 36 chapters today. Where am I wanting to start first? There's a couple places. Let me look ahead real quick. Anything stand out for you this week's Parsha, Rosalie?
Well, the first they go off and they turned around and they say they're about making vows. What you can and can do, what you can't and can't do.
Yeah.
There's that. And then he goes after the Midianites. So for some reason, I don't remember why, but they do. And then they talk about the war of the Midianites.
Yes, let's see if I can find this. Okay, it's rules of war. Yeah, that's what. Okay, so you're right. Okay, that's what I, because my note here is not. It's not. It's not in order. The things that hit me. Okay. Here it is. If a man makes, it doesn't say if you or if one among you. If this is one of those universal laws. If a man makes a vow to God or makes an oath to prohibit himself, he must not profane his word. He must fulfill whatever he said. Period. That's universal. You're expected, when you take a vow to keep the Noahide law or the oath, you do it. And in fact, that's what you do at a Bet Din. You have to go there and take an oath. I will keep the 7. If a woman, now here's the thing, here's how a woman can be let off easy when men can't. And it's going to sound bad, I know, but I'm just going to go through it because it is about where the woman stands in this and what men do. Men, sometimes. If a woman makes a vow to God or imposes a prohibition upon herself in her father's house in her youth, if her father heard her vow or her prohibition that she imposed upon herself, and her father remains silent, all her vows will be binding, and any prohibition that she has imposed upon herself will be binding. But if her father hinders her on the day he hears, all her vows and her prohibitions that she has imposed upon herself will not be binding. God will forgive her because her father hindered her. If she becomes betrothed to a man and her vows are in force, or an utterance of her lips that she imposed upon herself, and her fiancé hears, but remains silent on the day he hears, her vows will remain binding, and her prohibition that she imposed upon herself will remain binding. But if her fiancé hinders her on that day he hears it, he annuls the vow that she had taken upon herself and the utterance that she had imposed upon herself, and God will forgive her. As for the vow of a widow or divorcee, whatever the prohibition upon herself will remain upon her if she took a vow in her husband's house or imposed a prohibition upon herself with an oath, and her husband heard and remained silent and did not hinder her. All her vows will be binding, and every prohibition she imposed upon herself will be binding. And it goes on. If the husband annuls them on that day, anything she says regarding her vows, self-imposed prohibitions will not be binding. If her husband is annulled them, and God will forgive her. And it goes on for a bit. Husband can either uphold or annul any vow for binding oath of self-affliction. If her husband remains silent on one day until the next day, he has upheld all the vows and prohibitions she had assumed. He has upheld them since he has remained silent on the day he hears it, but if he annuls them after having heard, he will bear her iniquity. These are the rules God commanded Moses concerning a man and his wife, and between a father and his daughter in her youth while in her father's house. If a man imposes another man's vows, he's not forgiven. Isn't that interesting? Okay, that's the kids next door. Okay, they're playing in the other room. I didn't know what that noise was. Sorry. God is very forgiving of women. I think he likes y'all better, Rosalie.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm okay with that.
Okay. I was discussing this because we were discussing in Noahide debates. It's a group on Facebook, and it was set up by people who were kind of wanting to gotcha, but they weren't expecting real people to kind of sit down there and take them on. And it's something that's on everybody's mind. They always got to bring it up. It's I personally think they bring it up because of the white guilt thing.
Oh God, that is
slavery.
so stupid.
Slavery, and they always have to talk about, well, you believe in chattel slavery. It's I don't believe in it. This is what mankind does. There's still slavery. The West African slave trade is still going on, y'all.
Yep.
Just we stopped buying. The Western world stopped buying. The Arabs buy. So it's still going on, y'all. All right, don't talk like it's pearl clutching. Look, ain't nobody ever fought a war to free their slaves and kept them in their population and they prospered. It just hasn't happened before. We're it. God took out and they prospered, but actually prospered in slavery too. Isn't that interesting? Can't keep a good Jew down. Okay. So I guess I'm going to read part of or I'll just read 31 if that's all right. The revenge for the Israelites against the Midianites. Afterwards, you will be gathered to your people. God spoke to Moses, saying, "Take revenge for the Israelites against the Midianites. Afterwards, you will be gathered to your people." In other words, after this is it's your time, Moshe. Moses spoke to the people, saying, "Arm from among you, from the men for the army that can do battle against Midian, to wreak God's vengeance on Midian. You must send 1,000 men from each tribe, all the tribes of Israel, into the army. From the thousands of Israel, 1,000 were given over for each tribe, 12,000 armed for battle. Moses sent them, the 1,000 each tribe, to the army, and them along with Pinchas. Pinchas. I always think I'm saying that wrong when I look at it because it's anyway. Pinchas, yes, son of Eleazar. This is the high priest. Okay, this is Aaron's successor, and we're setting things up for Israelite to move on. It brings Aaron's death up, and the translation on Kabbalah. I'll get to that in a minute. A really sweet thing for Aaron and later Moses, which we'll get into in Deuteronomy. Let's see. They mounted an attack against Midian, and God had commanded Moses, and they killed every adult. They killed the Midianite kings upon their slain: Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba, the 5 kings of Midian. They slew Balaam, son of Beor, by the sword.
That was last week. The one Balaam was the one who could not curse Israel. All he could do is bless them.
Balaam and his she-donkey. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. The Israelites took the Midianite women and their small children captive, and they plundered all beasts, livestock, and all their possessions. They set fire to all the residential cities and their castles. They took all the booty and all the plunder of man and beast, and brought it all, the captives, the plunder, and the booty, to Moses and Eleazar the priest, and to the entire community of Israel in the camp in the plains of Moab by the Jordan River opposite Jericho. Moses, Eleazar the priest, and all the princes of the community went out to meet them outside the camp. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to take a drink of a delicious RC Cola. Me and my RC. Okay. Moses became angry with the officers of the army. See, normally you kill you surround a city on three sides so all the innocent may flee. For those who stay that aren't men, you can take the women and the children captive. You can marry them. You can keep them as slaves. You can convert them. But they become, that's what you do. People who gripe about that, people who moan and bemoan and complain and always have a gotcha moment. Yeah, your God likes slaves, you white supremacist, or whatever is going through their minds. Actually, this is a white dude talking to me. So, you think that's so bad? Here we go. Moses became angry with the officers of the army, the commanders of thousands and the commanders of hundreds, who had returned from the campaign of war. Moses said to them, "Did you let all the females live? They're the same ones who were involved with the Israelites on Balaam's advice to betray God in the incident of Peor, resulting in a plague among the community of God. Thousands died. So now kill every male child, and you must kill every woman who is old enough to have carnal relations with a man. But you keep alive all the young girls who are not old enough to have carnal relations with a man for yourselves. As for you, and camp outside the camp for 7 days. Whoever killed a person, or whoever touched a corpse, must purify himself on the third and seventh day, both you and your captives." Okay, I just want to pull out that right there. You think it's bad to be taken? This is one time Moses commanded after Amalek, and they still fail to do that too. This is what you normally do in war. You kill them all, and you have your own train of relations in the street while their city burns. And yeah, it's taking captives, taking slaves is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's civilized, if anything. So you think it's bad to be a slave, being taken slave, and you had a chance to leave. See, God always gives you an out before slavery. You always have an out before becoming a slave. And if you're a slave, you still have an out. If your master puts tefillin on you, you are no longer a slave. You're a free man. If you convert, you're freed on the Jubilee at best. You can be freed sooner than that. You can buy your freedom. You can have someone else buy your freedom. If you're enslaved because you're destitute, you write that's a contract for a certain amount of time. If you are if you're Hebrew, of course, that's the same. You're freed at a certain time, or the Jubilee. If you're Ger Toshav and you happen to be, there's always a way out. There's always a way out of slavery. If you were a thief, too bad. If you're a thief and you stole from somebody, you can't pay him back. You are their property until the debt's paid. Too bad. That's it. But there's always a way out. He freed an entire nation. The first, or I'd say 4 of the 5 books of Moses are about being freed from slavery. And we've even got that with Joseph. Joseph was made a slave. He was sold into slavery. He was kidnapped. It was robbery. He was a victim of theft. He had his own taken from him. What did he do? He was a good slave, and he wound up running the place. That's the story of Torah. People who say it's not an anti-slavery document, like I've been hearing in the debate chat. Yes, it is. The most famous single slave in the whole Bible winds up running the joint.
Second in command, yeah.
Yeah. That's how you slave, man. If you're going to be a slave, yeah. Irish people, not good slaves. Yeah, I'm standing up to you. Oh, you don't like it? Well, what are you going to do? Shoot me? Be better than working for you? You bastard. That's
pretty much.
No, right? Not the Jewish folks. They're redeemed, and God redeems you. Slavery is never a good thing in Torah. It's just a matter of fact, like war and disease, and the other stuff that we do that's just terrible. God meets us where we're at, and God met Moses, or God met Israel, and gave the Torah where man was at. It's an eternal document, but it's given where we need it. I've always said the sin of America was not that some Americans owned slaves. It's how we treated the slaves. Claiming to have be a Christian and have a book that tells you how to treat a slave properly, and we didn't do that. So, runaway slave, if you find a runaway slave, you take him into your house, you make him part of your house. You don't return. It says, do not return him to his master, his bondsman, whatever. There's a whole industry on returning slaves. And it wasn't just in the South. They come up north and get them too. We didn't do things right. We did not treat our slaves well, and we weren't a people that had slaves. They wanted to be lords and ladies with their plantations and the people they own on the land they own, spending the money that is theirs. Slavery is a way of life. It's part of the world, and it's not gone yet. It will be soon, but better than being dead.
Right.
And like you say, you'd rather be, if you're going to be a slave to any people, being a slave to the Hebrews is not a bad thing. Not bad at all. Not when they're given Torah.
Okay.
So 20. Where are we at? 20 what?
31:20.
31:20. Oh, are we reading?
You
We're not
were.
going to get through this. That was the end of what I wanted to talk about, but we can keep going for a while.
Anyway, 21 says, Eleazar the priest said to the soldiers returning from battle, this is the rule of the Torah that God commanded Moses. I mean, all garments, leather articles, an article made out of goats and wood, an article must go under purification. But it says, but for the gold and the silver, the copper, the iron, the tin, and the lead, whatever is used in fire must pass through fire, and then it will be purged. But it must be purified with dashing water. Whatever is not used in the fire, you must immerse in water. And you must immerse your garments on the seventh day, and thus become ritually pure. Afterwards, you may enter the camp.
Take account of the plunder of the captive people and the animals, you, together with Eleazar the priest, and the heads of the paternal houses of the community. You must divide the plunder equally between the warriors who went out to battle and the entire community. You must levy a tax for God from the soldiers who went out into battle, 1/500th of the people, the cattle, the donkeys, and the flock. Take this tax from their half and give it to Eleazar the priest as a gift to God. From the half belonging to the Israelites, you must take 1/50th of the people, the cattle and the donkeys, the flock, and all the animals. You must give them to the Levites, the keepers of the charge of the tabernacle of God. Moses and Eleazar the priest did as God commanded Moses.
And it was a lot, so we're going to skip that.
Yes. Notice, the priests are in charge of the people, part of the people that were plundered. What are priests, or the I should say the priestly tribe, going to treat them? Because they have no inheritance.
God is their inheritance.
Yeah. So, what do you think they're going to do with that? We're going to get into if we have time, which we probably will. Okay, we'll move on to that. Hang on a minute. Because now I'm getting reminded of others. Okay. Let me pick up here. I'll come back to this. Hang on a minute. The officers appointed over the army's thousands, the commanders of thousands, and the commanders of hundreds approached Moses. They said to Moses, your servants counted the soldiers who were in our charge, and not one man is missing from us. We therefore wish to bring an offering for God. Any man who found a gold article, be it an anklet, bracelet, a ring, an earring, or a chastity belt, to atone for our souls before God. Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold from them, all the articles that had been used, The total of the gift of the gold that they dedicated to God was 16,750 shekels. This was from the commanders of the thousands and the commanders of the hundreds, whereas the soldiers had seized spoils for themselves. Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold from the commanders of the thousands and hundreds and brought it into the tent of meeting as a remembrance for the Israelites before God. Okay. I'm gonna skip getting their own land.
It's like talking about slapping God in the face. 32. The descendants of Reuben and Gad had an abundance of livestock, so they decided they wanted to stay on the other side of the Jordan River. God, I took you all this way, and you want to stay here? It's like, what are you trying to do? Make God pissed us or what? But they figured they had all this. Yeah, and so they said, well, if we go to war, we'll be there.
Yeah.
So they give up their
inheritance and stay on the other side of the Jordan. Gilead.
Yep. And other little cities.
Says, should your brethren go to war while you stay here? Why do you discourage the Israelites from crossing over to the land that God gave them? This is what your fathers did when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to explore the land. They went up to the valley of Eshcol and saw the land, and they discouraged the Israelites from entering the land that God had given them. And God became angry with that, but none of the men 20 years old and over who came out of Egypt will see the land that I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, for they did not follow me wholeheartedly, except for Caleb and Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, and Joshua, son of Nun, for they followed God wholeheartedly. We're kind of getting a backstory here. It's going to take 40 years to get everybody in there because they need a generation that was not born into slavery. Turn away from following him. He will leave Israel in the desert again, and you will destroy this entire people. They approached him and said, we will build sheepfolds for our livestock here and cities for our children. We will then arm ourselves quickly and serve as the front lines of the Israelites until we have brought them to their place. Our children will reside in the cities fortified against the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our homes until each of the Israelites had taken possession of its inheritance, for we will not inherit them in the territory expanding from the far side of the Jordan River and beyond, because our inheritance has come to us east this side of the Jordan River. If you do this thing, if you arm yourselves to battle before God and all your men, Moses said to them, all your men across from the Jordan River before God until he has driven out his enemies before him, land will be conquered before God. Afterwards you may return, and you will be freed from your obligation to God, to Israel, and the land will become your estate before God. And he tells them what's going to happen if not. It's a double Parsha, and I just want to get through it. We get everybody who's there, everybody who goes. The journeys of the Israelites left Egypt, organized by their troops under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. Aaron was says here he was according to Rashi when he was given the same death that Moses, the divine kiss, which is the most painless way to die. It's God just kind of comes down and he's already and that's it. And that's quite a compliment.
Yep, 33 basically shows where they were, what they did, when they did it, and well, they were in the
wilderness.
Thank you. Yes.
For they and these are not places in the deserts. I mean, yes, the Sea of Reeds is mentioned. There are times, but these, they journeyed from Ramesses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month, and following the Passover sacrifice, the Israelites left triumphantly in full view of the Egyptians. Okay, they journeyed from Ramesses. That's a place, or that's an event. Excuse me. That's not necessarily a place. Um, then they camped at Sukkot. You're not going to find a Sukkot anywhere on a map. Sukkot was an event. It's the tabernacle. So there's all these places here. They journeyed from Elam and camped by the Sea of Reeds. Obviously, they camped in the Sin Desert. They journeyed from the Sin Desert and camped at Dofka. All these places are part of the history, and I saw one a long time ago. Someone went through them. It was way back in the day. I don't have that now. It was on a hard drive that went kaput. But each of these is an event or a lesson, or when I say an event, like a big event, like Israel was tested here, or where when Moses struck the rock. I forgot the name of that. They named the place for what had happened there. So that's what you kind of get when you go through this. There's a lot of Mariah. Thank you. Aaron the priest ascended Mount Hor at God's bidding and died there on the first day, and it was Rashi who said it was the divine kiss. Let me see if I got that phrase right. Because the great thing about the link I gave you, it gives you Rashi, which is good commentary. By God's mouth. He died there by God's mouth. This teaches us that he died by a divine kiss. That's how Moses died as well.
Yep. Chapter 34 basically gives the boundaries and the shape of Israel, of the lands that they are taking over.
Idol smashing. Where's it at? Hang on a minute. Oh, yeah, hang on. All right, yeah. Okay. It's here in 33, 34. Western border of the giant sea will be north border from Hor. You will draw a slanting line from the eastern border. Okay, your border is. Hang on a minute here. This land that you are to apportion for inheritance by lot, which God has commanded you give 9.5 tribes. Oh my goodness, I lost it. Anyway, he says go in there and smash their idols, basically.
Yeah. Clean house.
Yeah.
And then 35 talks about what to give the Levites where they are going to live, and how the cities are the cities of sanctuary.
Yes.
Yep.
Let me just say, they say murderer. He's going to say it's a place where a murderer can run. It might not be murder. It could be manslaughter. That's the thing. But we don't have a word for manslaughter. If you accidentally kill somebody, you're allowed to flee to one of the Levite cities. It's often where your Toshavim would go as well. It's where the priests. They run the city. It's theirs, and all the property it's like all around is like there's land just there for beautification, land that they plant on, and land that they keep their possessions on. But and it's not a murderer who flees. If you're a murderer, struck him with a deadly sized stone, he died. He is a murderer and must be put to death. Or if he struck him with a deadly fist-sized wooden instrument and he dies, he is a murderer. He must be put to death. The blood avenger will kill the murderer. He may kill him wherever he meets him. But if it's accidentally without malice, to an object is not an ambush, and him not an ambush, or he threw down a deadly stone at him without seeing it killed him, but was not his enemy and bared him no malice, the community must judge between the assailant and the blood avenger. On the basis of these judgments, the community must protect the murderer, from the hand of the blood avenger, and the community must return him to the city of refuge to which he had fled. He can't leave. If you're caught before you get there, it's like a lynch mob. I asked guys, is this lynch? I say, yeah, it's a lynch mob. You accidentally kill the man, they're still going to want you dead. The hand flies off an axe and kills the guy, they're going to want to come kill you quite often. Weather alert. Hang on just a second, it gets loud.
Okay.
Thunderstorm warning for eastern Harvey County until 9:30 p.m.
Okay, moving right along. That's not us.
It's 9:49. Great. Okay.
Yeah. What was I saying? Anyway, yeah. So yeah, it's not necessarily murder.
All
You're going to
right.
read
Yeah.
murderer. Yeah, the only way you can
And
avenge a murder is by killing the man who killed. So
right. And it says he must remain there until the high priest who is anointed with the sacred oil dies. Once that high priest dies, he can go free.
I heard on the Jubilee too. He has the option,
Well, I'm just yeah.
but not here. That's not here
No.
though. Yeah. All right. Well. So yeah, this is after this you will be returned to your people. You'll be gathered among your ancestors. So this is it. The next book isn't a book of Moses necessarily. It's Moses's final lecture to the people before they crossed over. And we begin that next week.
Yeah. And the last one, chapter 36, they talk about
Hmm.
the one tribe had no sons, just daughters, and how the land would be divvied up that way between the daughters, and they can only marry their cousins
Right. Only
to
from their
keep the
father's
land.
tribe.
Hmm.
That's right.
And that gets rid of that. Then you have the Haftorah, which is Jeremiah chapter 2, starts at 4.
You want to read it? You want me to read it? How do you want to do it?
I don't care. You tell me.
Well, I can keep reading. Why not?
It's up to you.
Here, you read. Yeah, I'm going to take a
All
break.
right.
You read it.
Okay, 4. Jeremiah chapter 2, start at 4. Hearken to the word of the Lord, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel. So says the Lord. What wrong did your forefathers find in me, that they distanced themselves from me, and that they went to after futility, and themselves became futile? And did they not say, where is the Lord who brought us from the land of Egypt, who left us in the desert, in the land of the plains and pits, in a land of waste and darkness, in a land where no man passed and no man had dwelt? I brought you into a forest land to eat its produce, and where'd it go? I lost it. Sorry, I lost where it was. Okay.
Verse
Oh,
7.
and it's good. Yeah, thank you. And I brought to you a forest land to eat its produce and its goodness, and you came and contaminated my land, and you made my heritage an abomination. The priests did not say, where is the Lord? And those who hold onto the Torah did not know me, and the rulers rebelled against me. And the prophets prophesied by Baal and followed what does not avail. Therefore, I still contend with you, says the Lord, and with your children's children I will contend. For pass over to the isles of the Kittites and see. Send to Kedar and consider diligently, and see whether there was any such thing, whether the nation exchanged a god through, although they are not gods. Yet my nation exchanged their glory for what does not avail. O heavens, be astonished about this, and the storm become very desolate, says the Lord. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the spring of living waters, to dig for themselves cisterns, broken cisterns that do not hold water. Is Israel a slave? Is he a homeborn slave? Why has he become a prey? Young lions roar over him. They have raised their voice, and they have made his land a desolation. His cities were burnt without an inhabitant. Also, the children of Noph and Taphanes will break your crown. Is this not caused to you by your forsaking the Lord your God at the time he leads you by the way? And now, what have you to do in the way of Egypt to drink the water of the Shihor? And what have you to do in the way of Assyria to drink the water of the river? Your evil will chastise you, and your backslidings will reprove you. And you shall know and see that your forsaking the Lord your God is evil and bitter. And fear of me was not upon you, says the Lord God of hosts. For Of old I broke your yoke, I tore open your yoke bands, and you said, I will not transgress. But on every lofty hill and under every leafy tree you reclined as a harlot. And yet I planted you a noble vine stock throughout of right seed, and now you have turned yourself into a degenerate wild vine to me. For if you wash with natron and use much soap, your iniquity is stained before me, says the Lord God. How do you say, I have not been defiled, I have not gone after Baalim, sorry. See your way into the valley and know what you have done, like a swift young she-camel clinging to her ways. A wild donkey accustomed to the desert that snuffs up the wind in her desire, her tendency is like the sea creatures. Who can hinder her? All who seek her will not weary. In her month they will find her. Without your foot from going barefoot and your throat from thirst, but you said, I despair. No, for I love strangers and I will follow them. As the shame of a thief when he is found out, so have the house of Israel been ashamed. They, their kings and their princes, their priests and their prophets. They say to the wood, You are my father, and to the stone, You bore us. For they have turned to me their nape and not their face. And at the time of their misfortune, they say, Arise and save us. Now, where are your gods that you have made for yourself? Let them get up if they will save you at the time of your misfortune. As for many as your cities were your gods, O Judea. Jeremiah chapter 4. If you return, O Israel, says the Lord, to me you shall return. And if you remove your detestable things from my presence, you shall not wander. And you shall swear, as the Lord lives, in truth and in justice and in righteousness. Nations will bless themselves with him and boast about him. Isaiah chapter 66, 1. So says the Lord, the heavens are my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Which is the house that you will build for me, and which is the place of my rest? Chapter 66, 23. And it shall be from new moon to new moon, and from Sabbath to Sabbath, that all flesh shall come to prostrate themselves before me, says the Lord. And they shall go out and see the corpses of the people who rebelled against me, for their worm shall not die, and their fire shall not be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring for all flesh. And back to 23. And it shall be from new moon to new moon, from Sabbath to Sabbath, that all flesh shall come to prostrate themselves before me, says the Lord. And that ends the Haftorah.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Updating the war, I heard that I don't know how many. I want to say it was 120, but I might have it wrong. Of the missile batteries, the moment they were turned on, this is all over Iran. This is the Iranian, like all their missiles and stuff. Their their ballistic, missiles.
Mm-hmm.
Every time they turned one on, they exploded,
Oh my God.
and they all. So, yeah, come
It's
on, if
almost
Israel is
watching.
not cool,
It's almost watching a Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner episode. You know it?
right?
How many little cell phones are marked on those missiles, man?
Yeah, they all exploded. The whole bunch of them.
They got them from Acme.
Yeah.
Or we should say Akba.
Yeah. Oof. So yeah, don't. It's over. I'm not saying go join Israel, and I would say yeah, sure, to take on God and the commandments, but man, time for fighting Israel, the time for fighting the Jews is over. God's sorting them out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever think that they're never that those that do evil, doesn't matter who you are, but particularly with the Jewish people, because I know they're the only ones anyone cares about, and not in a good way all the time. It's the time to hate them is over. They'll be taken care of. I haven't heard much from our friends over on the Greta Thunberg side talk much about the Druze and what's happening to them.
Right.
And they're getting wiped out in Syria just for being Druze, baby. They just want to kill them. We're talking what might be the Kenites, the descendants of Jethro, or descendants of the followers of Jethro. And guess who's taking care of them? Israel. So non-Jews, God-fearers, they're taking care of them. They're not showing you this. See, on my personal Facebook page, I think I put a couple up on Twitter as well, the aid that gets to the Gazans and how happy they are and grateful with dignity, they thank. They're not begging, they're not just ass kissing, pardon my French. They're grateful. And they're seeing that it's American contractors and the Israelis themselves who are getting them aid, not the UN who's sitting on
No, the
low
UN is supposed to be
tons.
distributing it, and they won't do it.
Won't do it. It's sitting
They
there.
won't do that. Yeah.
And say they're starving. Oh, starving children. Oh, yeah.
If there's 30 trucks, they might do 7 to 10.
Yeah. It's so
and that's on the UN. That's not on Israel. Yep.
And yet we're still we're not doing it by the army. They're independent contractors, but they're Americans.
That's right.
And they're each giving each other hearts over long distances and stuff. Thank you.
Right.
They're not stupid. Not all of them, anyway. Stupid ones are actually there aren't many stupid ones left.
They're all over here.
Or splattered all over the
Arab countries.
Yeah, got one guy here and part of him over here, and the stupid ones are getting taken care of, and it's like a daily occurrence. They're not stopping. Don't mess with the Jews. God's with them. They're back in the land. You better prepare for a darn good party. It's going to hurt, but man, there's going to be one heck of a party when the world stops killing itself, accepts God. World peace, man. Like under God, world peace. So that's all I got to say. I wish you the very best, everybody out there watching in internet land. Thank you for tuning in on all the platforms here at Rumble, and we've gotten some good views over at Twitter and on Facebook as well, and of course here at Rumble. And we don't get them a lot live, but we do appreciate you watching. We'd love for you to come by Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central, right here. Rumble. Rosalie, any final words for our fine friends out there in internet world?
Yeah, to everybody who participates, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, y'all. Be well. Peace and victory. Good night, y'all.
Good night.